Are we live? Hey everybody, thanks for joining in. We're on Facebook Live and you're listening to Talk Recovery Radio. Darren's holding the camera. Hi Darren. That's Darren's hand. So if you don't know about it, December 31st is New Year's Eve in the world. And we're hosting the Recovery Day New Year's Eve dance, which is called Rejuvenate. We're expecting over 1,000 people. There's like this great band called the Time Benders. They do a series of music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s to like top 40. Dave, Ali, and Alex are going to be spinning in the dance room, which is upstairs in the main ballroom. There's a fancy dinner. We need to raise some money for Recovery Day. It's super expensive, so come buy a ticket. It's only $25. If you want to do the dinner, it's a bit more, $125, but it's fancy dinner. And New Year's Eve in New Westminster is taking over the roundhouse dance that we used to do. So you can go to facebook.com/recoveryday. And welcome back to Talk Recovery Radio. You're listening to us on 100.5 FM. I need my headphones. I can't hear anything. There we go. And every week we come to you from the downtown east side, Vancouver Coop Radio. And we just finished an awesome interview with Linda Landon. Darren was interviewing her, and she was talking about igniting your joy in recovery. And she also wrote a book, The Power of Pause. You can catch that interview if you missed it on our SoundCloud, YouTube, on iTunes, and also at talkrecoveryradio.com. And we are now in studio with Ashley. Hi, Ashley. Hi. Let's check your mic levels. Perfect. So Ashley is part of our weekly personal stories where we ask people from the community to have the courage to speak their story, and hopefully somebody hears it, and who knows who's listening out there right now, and hopefully we can inspire them with some recovery talk.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Ashley, I got to drive with you into Vancouver. We survived. Yeah, thanks for understanding my driving ethics. And we talked really briefly. I've known you for a while now, and you are in recovery now.
I am indeed.
Indeed, you're part of the New West recovery community. And what's without getting too far deep into your past, what ended up getting you to a place where you needed to ask for help?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. I love this show. I love the personal stories because I can always relate. I've been in recovery before, so I knew recovery was possible and it was an option. But I had gotten to a space in my life where I had relapsed, and I had a pretty major surgery. It was life-threatening, and I was out for about a year, and like my life had, when people say that recovery or addiction is progressive, it's super true. Like, I couldn't get 30 days again, I couldn't get a week again. I was always trying, and I couldn't. And I was living in Kelowna. I'd been a part of the recovery community out there, and I knew that like there were clean people, and I just didn't know how to do it on my own.
Did you hate those clean people?
I totally hated those people. I would go to detox often.
People.
Yeah. I mean, it's bizarre because
I hated those clean people too. Yeah.
You do, because you're so jealous, and like you just want what they have, and you don't know how they're doing it. Like, I would go to detox and I'd see people, having like 5 days clean, and I'd be like, how do you do it? How do you get 24 hours? I couldn't do that on my own. I got to that spot for me, right?
Unfortunately, still, when you think of the word addict, they don't even want us to use that word anymore, but I'm going to say it on air all the time, addict. So most people, when they think of the word addict, they think of people in the downtown east side, and they don't think of beautiful women and so forth. And, how do you relate? How did you come to terms with being like, hey, I need help, I'm an addict? Did you feel like you weren't part of that?
It's funny because, I think for me, like, I always knew that, there was something different about me. Like, my behaviors were, extra. Like I took things to an extreme I took things always to an extreme. And I remember the first time that I got scared and I told my sister that I thought I might be an alcoholic. But the type of life that I was living, you know, I was living with like drug dealers and I was working in bars, and I just couldn't see how I could live my life but also be clean. Like it wasn't conducive to that. And I showed up in AA. Can I say that? AA?
Yeah, sure. AA.
Addict. All by myself. And you know, some people try to carry the message to me, but like I didn't know that I would have to change things about myself. Like I wasn't able to be honest. I couldn't say like, hey, like I'm also going home to like a big drug dealer and I work doing this job where I make $1,000 a night doing things I shouldn't do and my family doesn't know. And you know, just like there's no way that recovery would have been congruent with that, right?
So, you know, there's a big push out there for drug users that are using illicit drugs to use a very common conversation is, let's just give people who use drugs legal drugs so they don't have to, you know, play the game to get the drugs. Right. And then they end up saying, you know, and then these addicts will get jobs and they'll become productive members of society, and all we gotta do is we gotta give them legal drugs. Right. and everything will be fine. But so say like I would have went to you like when you were still using and said, okay, here's all your dope, here's all your vices. Yeah. Now have a happy life. Like, would you have worked for $10 an hour?
No way in hell.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I mean, like, I
like
think
you were addicted to more than just drugs.
I was 100% addicted to more than just drugs. And like, there was no getting to me because of that. Because I was able to, you know, I was able to do anything I wanted to do. I was able to, you know, come and go as I pleased. If somebody challenged me, I would just, you know, I would leave them. I had a sense of community because my community was the other people that were doing the same stuff I was doing.
How much harder was it if you were to scale me stopping drinking or me stopping hanging out with those people and working in that industry? Right. What was harder? What was harder giving up?
100%. It was harder to say to myself, shut down the life, you know, because I didn't know how to do that. Like, I didn't know who to ask about that. Like, there's a lot of groups to go. It's a very common theme, even in the gay community. It's like there's the bathhouse lifestyle, there's the online dating. Well, it's not even dating, it's online hooking up. Yeah. You know, it's that lifestyle, you know, it's just like, yeah, I might not be doing drugs right now, but I'm doing everything else, right? And what's hard is, you know, like, you can go to NA and you can talk about drug use and you can talk to that, like, it's kind of an open conversation right now. Like, you can go to a treatment center and they're going to talk to you about your drug use. But where the shame is the things that you do along the way. That's what keeps a lot of us out, is like to say, hey, like, yeah, like I was also a dancer, or I worked in a massage place, or, you know, whatever people do to create a lifestyle for themselves, right? And like, there's a lot of shame around that. And like, intellectually, I know that that's what a lot of, like, probably more than 50% of my friends did, but it's not a conversation that we have. And it's something that, like, I feel definitely, like, people are scared to talk about because there's not a lot of solution.
It's so interesting what a conundrum we've created ourselves, where we think if we don't tell anybody and we don't talk about it, nobody will know and everything will be okay. But life doesn't seem to get better. But then when you're like completely honest about your life and just say, hey man, this is it. You know, this is the inside of the covers. Like, life just gets so freer. And I mean, my life is completely open book, and I feel like I don't even understand that idea I had, that I had to keep, you know, things private and so forth. I feel really bad for people that have to, like, keep everything. They think they have to keep everything on the hush hush.
Yeah, and it's delusion, right? Because it's not on the hush hush, really. But like, I think that for me, like, recovery is freedom. And, you know, like, whenever I've walked through the work with someone, or someone's walked through the work with me, the whole thing is like, how free do I want to be, you know? And like, I want to be 100% free. I want to wake up in the morning. I don't want to need anything. I don't want to be a slave to anything. And that includes, behaviors. That includes money. That includes, you know, like...
It's hard to give up $1,000 a day.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
or more.
I remember when I was new in recovery and like I just, you know, wasn't making any money. And I mean, I was getting $90 a month. My honest truth, I was on welfare when I was new, and $90 a month, and I somehow got a tan out of that. And,
Yeah.
But I remember people like making money in that itch. I have to get back to work and make money.
And I hear from guys too, right?
And
Like they wanna jump into like the oil rigs, like. And I'm not judging it. I want everyone to be successful.
Yeah.
I have a big push, like a big drive to be successful. I'm a type A. Like I took business courses. I'm now in the corporate world, right? But like that happened for me slowly. That was not a quick fix.
Same here.
Versus,
I mean, I go on holidays around the world. I'm going to Italy in a bit and doing 2 weeks. Like, the minute I let go of that itch is when life really, because now I get to keep stuff.
You keep it.
I used to make a ton of money in my using days, but I didn't even have money to put together to take a bus sometimes. So there's a woman out there right now. She's, you know, kind of quasi thinking about going to treatment. She's got a busy life and you know, she's not happy. It's probably in the same place you may have been a while ago. What do you say to them? What do you say to her?
I'm just trying to think of like what would have worked for me, and like I was kind of looking for someone that was like me. I was looking for somebody that like, because I thought it was so different. I thought it was like if people knew what my life looked like and like who I surrounded myself with and where my job was, like they would understand I didn't need treatment. And the thing is like you're not different. Like you're cool, you're unique, right? But you're not there's nothing wrong with you that you can't get clean, you know? And once you do get clean, it's not this huge, like I take things one day at a time. Like it's not like I look ahead and I'm just going, oh, I guess I'm doing this for my whole entire life. Like I did this slowly. I'm still doing this slowly. It's not like, it doesn't have to be so scary, you know? Like it's just literally just like ask for a little bit of help. Find one person you can trust, you know, like make one phone call, you know, it's just tiny building blocks, and those things eventually, like you will get a bigger life than what you think your wellness treatments are, you know, like the purse isn't the goal, right? Like it's cool, like I have a nice purse, I like my purse, but that's not my goal anymore, right? Like
I want a nice purse for Christmas. If anybody's watching that's buying me gifts, I want a nice purse.
He's a size Louis Vuitton.
Yes, a nice purse. What were your first thoughts when you know, because, you know, I can just imagine the lifestyle. So then all of a sudden you're like in rehab,
right?
You know, and you're like sharing spaces and you know, they're like humility and open-mindedness and willingness and, you know, be nice. Like, what were your first thoughts?
It wasn't something that came natural for me, so I was like, I don't think I can do this, you know, and I was judgmental, but not to where like I thought it was better, but I was just like, who are these people?
How are they gonna help me?
Yeah, like
she's crazy.
Yeah,
she can't help me.
I just couldn't relate, and it was because I was trying to relate to the story rather than the feeling, right? Like, so I wasn't listening to the fact that these people had, you know, they're exact same as me, had gotten hopeless and sad and didn't want to wake up in the morning anymore, and like that's where I got. But I thought like you had to walk in my shoes exactly in order to understand me and to help me, right? So it wasn't until I really grasped that and like understood that, hey man, like we're all the same. Like that's when that switch changed for me.
So a lot of women sometimes when I go to 12-step meetings and a very common theme when women, I'm not labeling all women the same way. I better back up here. Some women have shared that, you know, I had a really hard time making friends with women, and it's easier for me to make friends with men, and, you know, I just don't trust women and all that kind of stuff. So touching on what you just said, so, you know, I'm one of those new girls, you know, I'm 20 days clean, and I just said that, you know,
yeah.
What's some of the things that you can offer for them to get through that?
Well, I definitely would have done things differently knowing what I know now, but I would just say, give it a chance. Like, and I know for me, like, I had to kind of just make, like, one friend first. And I had to be open to that. And I did that. And I think, what saves me today are the women. Like, so if I could say to any person that was new or any woman, I would just say, like, listen to someone that sounds safe to you, and, like, trust your gut, because that's what I did. I sort of trusted my gut, and, like, not everyone that is around is going to be safe for you. So if you make a connection, try it out. And I mean, like, I guarantee you right now on the comments, it's like my friends are probably, like, losing their minds, right? Like Jen, she's 18 months today. Like we have real friendships. I have real friendships.
So what
today.
is that for people that don't know what that means? What's that mean, 18 months? Because there's
18
some
months
people
clean.
listening.
Like she literally, this girl went through with me, and like, we did everything together. We didn't know how to live life anymore, so we were just like, we had these conversations like, we can't use no matter what, okay. I mean, they were super dorky, but I felt safe with her. I'll use her as an example. And then, somebody else, and then somebody else. And it's like, those are the people I lean on for just the everyday problems. Because, like, recovery from drugs, like, I'm lucky that today I don't have the obsession to use. That wasn't always, but that's how I am today. And, like, but I do have problems, like, in life, and I need people.
Real life.
Yeah,
real life.
Real life happens. Your boss is a dick, or, like you get in a fight with your partner and you need someone to talk to. It's going to be the other people in recovery that are, working their spiritual principles, and for me, it's women.
So Jen's clean time is a big deal.
Oh, gosh, yeah, for me, yeah. I love you, Jen.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, who would have thought, other people's... Well, that's another part of recovery. You actually care about other people.
Yeah.
And you actually pay attention to other people. Yeah. And you remember other people.
And they pay attention to you. So it's like, I'm other-centered, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, it's her 18 months. She messages me yesterday. She's like, it's your 18 months on Sunday. So that's just how it goes. Like, we go from being self-centered to other-centered, and that's part of the gift, I think.
Now you have a great relationship now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love
he
him.
goes to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, he drives me nuts. Yes. Good for him.
Yeah, I'd kill somebody if they woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning
shaker.
Making a shake. Yes, it's like all shakes.
I love you, Ryan. I hate your shaker.
You heard it here, Ryan. So that's awesome. And you're, part of the fun and recovery. And how important is fun and recovery for you? Like,
it's so funny. Like, I thought that topic was so dorky. Like, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, guys, just stop. Like, I just want to be clean and then move on, right?
Yeah.
And, like, I wouldn't stay if this thing wasn't fun. Like, I wouldn't stay if there weren't, like, things I did with people that were just, like, the most intense fun. And I'm not just saying that to sell it. I'm saying it because it's true. Like,
who would have thought?
I have a ball doing, like, we'll go to panels or something, and, like, the drive along the way is, like, hilarious. We're cranking music, we're singing. Like, Ryan and I go to a ton of, like, hockey games because we're big sports fans. We see drunk people, and it's not like it affects us one way or another, right? Like, I go to concerts.
Those people.
Yeah, it's just like they get to do that, right? I have my lifetime supply. I've done that. I've done that.
That's a good way of looking at it. Definitely a lifetime supply.
Yeah.
And feeling just grateful that we made it through it.
Yeah, we have like 5 family Christmases and office parties, and we're gonna get through it clean. We're gonna do it together, and that's what we do.
Awesome. Any last? So you're available if anybody's watching or listening. Ashley, you can connect with her on Facebook too, and definitely able to support people get through this, because you need a doctor, you need a counselor, you need a therapist, you need all that, but you know what you really need, and I truly believe, is you need friends, and you need people.
You need friends, and you need someone that's just like gonna go, I feel you. Yeah. I feel you. I've been there, right? Yeah. And like,
and that's it.
And then that's it, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. I have a hard time doing that sometimes. I'm like, I get the whole, like, I feel you, but I gotta tell you, there's that thing in me that's just like, but, you know, if you
Yeah, I do too.
follow these instructions, you know.
I know. Control's a defect for sure for me.
Yeah, so I definitely, I'm trying my best, I swear. Well, thanks for being on our show today.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you,
Everybody in the
everybody.
house, we've got Ashley, Overcoming Addiction, Personal Story on Talk Recovery Radio. We've
you,
got
Stephanie.
Darren, who's holding the camera this week. And today's the official first show, Saint Francis Stone. So, a little bit of French accent there. I don't know where that came from.
Sans
Saint
Francis.
Francis, yeah.
We miss you,
So,
Francis.
thanks for joining us on Talk Recovery Radio. We come to you live every Thursday, noon till 1 on Vancouver Coop Radio. You can catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud, all our past shows as well. And if you're able to, December 31st, come on down to Metro Vancouver's best New Year's Eve party. It's a fundraiser for Recovery Day. It's at the Anvil Center in New West. There's live bands, there's DJs, there's food. Lots of fun. You can go to Recovery Day's Facebook page for more information. And Darren's going to be... Do I have the song ready to go? I don't have the song ready to
Probably
go,
not.
Darren. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got so caught up with Ashley. I'm going to take the camera here, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up, listeners, viewers. I need some Canadian music. It's tougher to get through, you know, to find, because I'm always looking for something unique and special and wicked to crank on our show. So, send me some ideas and we'll play it. But for now, this is old school band, right local, the old Grapes of Wrath. This is You May Be Right on Talk Recovery.
Woo.
Say bye, Ashley.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, Ashley.
Thanks for having me.
See you later, Darren. Cool glasses, bro.